Macmillan Audio presents The Man Who Would Be Sherlock by Christopher Sandford. Read by Stephen Crossley. (1) The Doll and Its Maker. Who was Sherlock Holmes? One of the paradoxes of Arthur Conan Doyle's indestructible sleuth is that he seems both to embody the past and belong to the present. Although there's a generous amount of period detail to the Holmes stories, with their soupy miles of cobblestone streets, he's also a thoroughly modern, even futuristic human calculating machine who takes full advantage of such emerging disciplines as psychiatry, forensics, toxicology, ballistics, analytical chemistry, and anthropometrics, the use of precise body measurements to profile criminals to complement his legendary powers of observation. Although Conan Doyle, like most authors, deplored the habit of identifying real-life models for his characters, he also took the opportunity to pay Dr. Joseph Bell, 1837 to 1911, the compliment of calling him the true Holmes. The frock-coated Bell was 39 years old when Doyle, an impoverished medical student, first attended one of his lectures at Edinburgh University. Described as a thin, white-haired Scot with the look of a prematurely hatched bird whose Adam's apple danced up and down his narrow neck, the doctor spoke in a piping voice and is said to have walked with a jerky, scuttling gait, suggestive of his considerable reserves of nervous energy. Bell was a keen observer of his patient's mental and physical characteristics. The method, as he called it, which he used as an aid to diagnosis. A lecture in the university's gaslit amphitheatre might, for example, open with Bell informing his audience that the subject standing beside him in the well of the auditorium had obviously served, at some time, as a non-commissioned officer in a Highland regiment in the West Indies. An inference based on the man's failure to remove his hat, a Scots military custom, and telltale signs of tropical illness, among other minutiae. Added to his impressive powers of deduction, Bell also liked to bring an element of drama to his lectures, for instance by once swallowing a phial of malodorous liquid in front of his students, the better to determine whether or not it was a deadly poison. He survived the test. For much of the last century, Bell has been the individual most popularly associated with the real Holmes. That notwithstanding, there would be several other ingredients in what Conan Doyle called the rather complex chain leading to his detective's creation. Pinning down Doyle's real-life models should be a straightforward matter of checking the known facts of his life in the years prior to March 1886, when he put pen to paper on the first Holmes tale, A Study in Scarlet. We know that he read voraciously, and that he drew heavily on the analytical detective fiction of Edgar Allan Poe and Émile Gaboriau. It's also known that Doyle was concerned with finding a narrative way to show the potential of forensic science for solving crime. And it can be safely said that he brought a moral dimension to the stories, at the end of which, however outlandish their plots, affairs were successfully restored to their rightful late Victorian order. Many of these strands came together in the person of Joe Bell, who in 1878 picked Doyle out to serve as his outpatient clerk, the beginning of a relationship between the brilliant man of reason and his somewhat stolid accomplice that would foreshadow that between Holmes and Dr. Watson. As we'll see, there are also various other candidates whose individual talents and eccentricities mirrored those of the fictional inhabitants.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?